Welcome everyone. In this video, let's look into our day 4 of the professional course. This day 4 course is divided into 5 different sections. In that, we'll be looking into section 5, which is creating custom door using custom modeling. See, in our previous section, we talked in detail about your custom modeling basics, right? How we can create a component from scratch using custom modeling. And in our last section, we talked about how we can apply a finish for those custom models. So in this session, we'll be utilizing both the prospectus and I'll be showing you how you can create a custom swing and sliding door based on your design requirement. For that, you first need your carcass for your cabinets, right? You can place the carcass from our cabinet catalog itself. So for that, first let me just exit this custom modeling window, go to advanced tool, and here let me just select closet, and this will open up our closet catalog, right? In this, let me just place a regular double door wardrobe, and once it is placed, I could just adjust the dimension, and now I don't need this shutter because we're gonna custom design your swing wardrobe shutter in custom modeling, right? So for that, I could just select by part, select these two shutters, and I could delete it. Can you see? Or press your delete button in your keyboard. So only your carcass will remain. I could follow the same process for your sliding wardrobe too. In this case, they will just go for the insert wardrobe 2-door. And once that is done, we could generate a sliding door for it. No worries, we are generating the sliding door only for the track. Okay, we can delete the sliding door once it is generated. Once the sliding door is generated, I could select by part. That way I could select these two shutters and I could delete it. All we need is the tracking. So once it is done, now we can go to our custom modeling window and start creating your swing and sliding door. And like I said in your previous section, once you got inside your custom modeling, your first focus should be on this display mode. Click it and select the third option, which is material and wireframe. That way you can precisely see the edges of both your model and your space. So in this, first let's just focus on your swing door. And for this demonstration, I'm planning to recreate a swing door from this reference here. And any custom modeling starts with defining your geometry. So I could use any of this geometry here. Let me just go for rectangle, and I could create a base geometry for one of the swing doors. Once that swing door is modeled in, later I could just mirror it up and place right next to it. So in this case here, a single door should be 500 mm in length and 2300 mm in width. So if I want to shift between the width to edit, I have to use my tab button. So tab is the shortcut to shift between the dimensions to edit. We precisely created a rectangle which is 500 mm in length and 2300 mm in width. And once your rectangle surface is created, you could use your push-pull tool shortcut as P to select it and add a thickness. In this case here, the door thickness which I'm expecting is 18 mm. So I can just type it as 18 mm. For the stretch distance, press enter. That's it. We precisely created your basic door. And once your basic door is created, you just double click it so that all the connected surfaces will be selected, and I could make it as a group. And once your group is created, you could just double click that group so that you can get inside the group to edit. And now we can start with detailing this group. In the reference image I shown, you could notice that the door basically has an offset of 75 mm. So for that, I could just select the surface, and on top here you will find your offset. Shortcut is F. Click it and select the surface you would like to create an offset. In this case here, I could type 75 mm as the offset distance and press enter. We created a simple offset on all the 4 edges of the surface. And now I need to create a semicircle region at this part here, which is going to accommodate my circular handle. So for that, I could use my reference line here to precisely define the height of the handle position. So your shortcut is T. That way I could just first draw a reference line and the bottom part of this semicircle should be about 700, and from there the top part should be about 1 feet, which is 300. And once that is defined, we could start drawing a circle here. So for that I could use the circle geometry. So here can you see I can precisely select the midpoint. Using that as my starting point of the circle, I could define the semicircle region. And here if you notice, can you see the circle has rigid edges? That is because of the number of edges here. For a circle of 1 feet in dia, 24 edges is not sufficient. It looks rigid. So for that I need to increase the surface either to about 50 or 55. So for that I could press the tab button in my keyboard, so I could shift between the dimensions and I could increase it to 50 surface. And now can you see the edges of the curve is smooth, right? Just click it and your circular path is created. And if there are any unwanted lines, you could manually select that line and press the delete button, or you even have your eraser tool, right? You could use your eraser tool to erase it precisely. And in addition to this single degree offset, if you notice in the reference image which I showed, there are actually 2 degrees of offset here. For that I could again use the offset tool shortcut itself to create another level of offset. And let this offset be about 10 mm. And once your offset is created, we need to create different levels of extrusion. So from the reference, I could notice that there is an extrusion difference of 5 mm at the first level, and there is an extrusion difference of another 5 to 3 mm from the second level. So I could use my push pull tool to create that extrusion difference. So let my first level have an extrusion difference of 5. Let my second level have an extrusion difference of 3 mm from the point. So now what is remaining is the edges here. So if you notice in the reference image, the extrusion edges here are not as sharp as this. It has a curvilinear edge on all the sides. In order to attain that, here you have one advanced tool here named bevel. If you place your cursor, you will see there are 2 types of bevel here. One is your bevel 2D and bevel 3D. And for this scenario where I need to bevel the edges of my 3D geometry, I have to go for bevel 3D. Click it and select the edges for which you would like to bevel. Once that is done, now it will ask you to type in the radius of the bevel. In my case here, let me just go for 3 mm. Can you see? This is what a 3 mm bevel is. You could see that dotted line here, right? So this dotted line represents where that bevel would start and where the bevel would end. And I should also do the same process for the other edges too. For that I could just hold shift in my keyboard and I could select all the connected edges. And once that is done, just press enter. That's it. Your bevel for all the selected edges of 3 mm radii will be created. Can you see how precise that bevel was created just in seconds? So now I could follow the same process to create a 2 mm bevel for the inner side. Now once all the edges for the bevel is selected, press enter. We precisely created a smooth bevel for all the edges here. That's it. Your door is basically done. Now what is remaining is your circular handle. You could actually create the handle from the scratch in your custom modeling itself. For that, first let me just exit this group. Let me draw a line connecting these 2 points, and using the midpoint of that line I could draw another circle, and this time the radius of the circle is going to be 100 mm. And once that is done, if there are any unwanted components, you can just select and delete it. Not only that, I could even extend this region here using my rectangle tool, and this is going to be the profile of my circular handle. In this, if there are any unwanted lines, you can just select it and delete it. So for the handle, first I need to create an offset for the C shape. For that I could use the same offset tool here and let the thickness of this handle, let it be about 25 mm. And once that is done, we could just remove the center part because that is something that is not part of the handle. Only the C unit is going to be the handle part. So for that I could just use my rectangle tool to define it, and I could delete the unwanted surfaces. Now can you see here? We precisely created your C profile for this circular handle. And once it is done, select that surface. I could use move option, or I could even use this tool to move 35 mm forward. So can you see here the surface is moved 35 mm forward. And now I could add a thickness for this handle. For that I could use the push pull tool to add a thickness. Let me create a thickness of 15 mm and your simple handle is created. Now what is remaining is the connecting part. For that I could just rotate my camera and I could just divide the surface using a simple line tool. And once the back side of this handle is divided, now I need to use the push pull tool to create that connectivity. In this case here, let the connectivity be for about 35 mm. I can do the same process for the bottom part. And once that is done, I could just double click the surface. So all the connected surfaces of the handle will be selected and I could make it as a separate group. Once that is done, I could just use my move tool here to precisely move it and place it on top of the shutter. Can you see here how quickly we created a custom handle? And now what is remaining is the detailing part for the handle. If you notice, in the reference image, the handle edges were not this sharp. So we could use the 3D bevel tool to bevel the edges of this handle. For that, just select the edge and here select your 3D bevel. And right now, the 100 mm radius is too large, go for 5 mm radii. And once that is done, I could also bevel the back side of this handle too. Can you see how quick and easy your bevel for the handle is created? That's it. So now what is remaining is the finish application. For the door here, let me just select that group and press Ctrl key or double click the surface to select all the connected surfaces of the door or shutter. And I could just click on this material library where I have different types of public library material. Here I could just find a similar looking material to the reference image shared. Let me just go for this one. Just click it and apply. And for this material, I would like to edit the finish. So for that, let me just select the surface where that material is applied. On the right, it will show you its respective property, right? There you have the real-time material option. Click it and this will open up that selected texture in your real-time material editor where I need to check with the glossiness. Yeah, so this one is typically a matte finish, but I'm looking for a semi-gloss. So for that, I could just check with the reflection. Let me just select the color, let the color of the reflection be white, and let me just go for the reflective glossiness and let the reflective glossiness be set as 10. So yeah, so this is exactly what I'm looking. Once that is done, just click on save and the material for the surface is edited. So now I could use material brush, shortcut as M to copy the finish of this edited material. Press Ctrl A so that I could update the same edited material for all the surfaces. Can you see? This is how you should be able to apply a finish for it. And for the handle, I'm looking for a brass finish. So for that, just double click the handle group, press Ctrl A to select all the surfaces of the handle. And here under material library, can you see you have a specific category named metal, right? Click it and here you will find different metal finishes. Or if you're looking for brass, you can just further scroll it up and you will find. You just click on this arrow mark here so that you can go for the next page of metal finishes where you will find your brass finish. Once that is done, just click it and apply this for the surface, as simple as that. So now your swing shutter along with the handle is created. Now I could select both these groups and make it as one mega group here. So now can you see here? So this entire shutter along with the handle is one single group. If I just double click it, there I will see the shutter as a separate group and handle as a separate group. If I want to further edit any of this, then you have to further double click it. That way I can select the surface and edit it according to my requirement. So this is how you should be able to create your swing wardrobe shutters here. And once that is done, your single shutter will be ready. But what about the other shutter? I didn't have to again do this process from the scratch. Instead, just select it and here you have something called flip, right? Using this, you can mirror it. So in my case here, let me just go for this YZ flip. Can you see? This is the flip component which I'm looking for. In this, if you notice, your delete source is ticked, right? Which means your source is deleted and your mirrored component will only be there. But I don't want it. I want both my source and mirrored component here. In that case, I could just untick the delete source. So both the objects will be present at the same position. No worries. Once you're okay with the preview, just press enter. It will be there. Then you can just select one and you can move it. Can you see here? And once that is done, you can just multi-select these two mega groups and make it as one single group. And then you could use your move tool to precisely pick from this edge and place it exactly in front of your carcass. Yes, it will detect your edges of your carcass and it will snap. Can you see? Just place it. So this is what it is. And the best part here is, once you created a custom design shutter, and if you feel like you might have a similar kind of a design requirement for another project, you don't have to again do this entire process from the scratch. Make sure that that entire shutter is in group, and once you selected that shutter group, it will open up a floating window, right? There at the right you will see something known as import to me, this humanoid icon. Click it, and now this shutter what we created is added to our private models, which means if I have the shutter requirement for any other projects, all I need to do is just get inside your custom modeling, go to your private model, and there you have your shutter. Just click it and place it in your project, as simple as that. So this is how you should be able to add a custom model components to your private model and use it for your other projects. So now let us focus on creating a sliding door design from the scratch within custom model. So for that, I'm planning to recreate this sliding door design. For this sliding door design too, it starts with defining your geometry for the shutter. So in this case, first let me just design one sliding door here. Later I could just mirror it up and place it right next to it. So for that I could use the rectangle tool here and define the geometry of the single sliding door. And in this, the length of the sliding door should be 1200 and the width of the sliding door should be 2300. Once that is done, just press enter. Can you see? Your geometry is created. Now we need to add a thickness for it. For that you could use your push pull tool, select that surface and add a thickness. I'm planning to go for 18 mm thick sliding door, so I can just type it as 18 in the stretch distance, press enter. That's it. We precisely created a simple sliding door here. And in the sliding door design reference which I showed you, if you notice there are 3 grooves here on the left hand part, and there is one horizontal groove here at the top part, and in the clearance, in the gap which is present between the first and the second vertical groove, they have created a finger space handle. So for this kind of a procession, I would strongly recommend you to use your guidelines to define the region for each and every groove points. So in this case here, let me just use the reference line, shortcut is T. Let the first gap be about 200 mm and let the thickness of each groove, let it be about 10 mm. The gap between two grooves should be about 75 mm. And for this horizontal groove here, should be placed at a distance of 800 mm from the top, and its groove should be 10 mm wide. From this point, the finger groove handle should start and it should end at a distance of 250 mm from the bottom. So can you see here, we've used our reference line to first define the position for the groove points. And once that is done, then the process is simple. You just have to use rectangle and use this guide point as a reference. You could draw your rectangle to the fullest. Can you see, we created the surface for one groove. If I want to apply the same groove surface for the other two, I could just manually do it, or I could select the one which I created, press Ctrl C, which is the duplicate option, to place it at multiple points. Or if there are more number of grooves where even this duplicate option might become a bit tedious, right? In those cases, you can even use the array option too. Can you see here? You could go for linear array to duplicate this groove at n number of positions. Now I could follow the same process and define the groove region for this horizontal point. So once that is done, you could select all these intersection points here and you can delete it. Can you see here? Now this entire groove is made into one single surface. Then what is remaining now? Your finish application and your push pull tool to create that groove point. So first let me just apply the finish. For this entire shutter, I'm actually planning to apply a laminate from our catalog. But the thing is, you won't be able to access our finish catalog within your custom model. In those cases, it's better that you have some dummy cabinet here with that finish being applied. If it is already available, then you could use your material brush to copy that finish from that cabinet and you can apply this for the shutter. So this is like a workaround which you could follow to apply a finish from the catalog to the custom model, but directly you can't apply our catalog finish to the custom model. Okay. So that way, let me just click on finish. Let me exit this custom model. Let me go back to kitchen or closet. Just place one dummy cabinet there, and I could apply my preferred finish for the shutter on this cabinet, since this cabinet is going to act like a placeholder cabinet to carry the finish to the custom model. So I could just go to style option of this cabinet and let me apply a merino SF finish from the masterpiece collection, and I could apply this finish here. Just click it, that finish is applied for the shutter. Or if you're planning for a second option of finish for the shutter, you try to apply this for any of the panels of the carcass or for the carcass. This way it will be easy for you to use your material brush in your custom model to pick multiple finishes from this carcass and apply this for the shutter. So that way, let me just select this panel and let me apply one finish. So for the second option, I'm actually planning to go for merino Ima plus this one, and maybe for the third option I could select this panel and apply another finish from the green lamp, this one. So once it is done, now you could just get back to your custom model, and once you got inside your custom model, like I said, your first focus should be on the display mode. Make sure you click it and select the material plus wireframe mode. Okay, the edges need to be seen here for the precise placement of your shutter over canvas. So now once that is done, I could just select all the connected surface and make it as a group, and now I could just get inside that group, and I could use my material brush shortcut as here to copy the finish from the shutter of this placeholder cabinet here, and press Ctrl A and apply this for all the shutters. Can you see how simple the process was? Or if you feel like applying another finish, no worries. Like I said, you already have two other finish options, right? Use your material brush to copy it and apply. And once that is done, now we could focus on applying a finish for this groove here. We haven't created that into a groove, it is just a groove surface. So for this, let me just go for some dark finish here. Okay. And once the material is applied, I could use the push pull tool here to select the surface and create that extrusion. Let this extrusion be about 3 mm. So now what is remaining is this handle portion, which is this surface. So this surface, first I need to apply a finish. So for that I'm trying to go for a wooden finish which looks similar to this. Just click it and apply this for the surface. And once it is applied, the first thing I could notice here is the scale of this wooden finish. It is large. And apart from that, I would like to rotate the texture too. So for that, just select that surface. On the right hand side, it will show you its property, right? In that you could use the angle option to rotate it vertically, and then you can use the scale option to scale down the texture. Once that is done, I could just select the surface and use the push pull tool to create an extrusion for the finger. So now your sliding door design is precisely ready based on the reference image. And once your component is done, then we don't need this reference line, right? You could just manually select the reference line and delete it, or you have a clear option. Just place your cursor there, you will find an option named reference, right? If you click it up, this will delete all your reference lines in your custom model. And now your sliding door is done. I could just copy it and place it right next to it, and I could mirror it up. So for that, just select it, use the mirror tool. Let me just use this YZ to flip it up, and I'm also planning to flip it up horizontally too. Can you see? And now we have both your sliding doors here. Just select this sliding door, use the move tool to precisely place it at this edge of the another sliding door. Generally, for a sliding door, there will be an overlap that will happen, right? That overlap might happen anywhere between 20, 30 or 50 mm. So in this case, let the overlap be about 20 mm. So now we could just select both the sliding door, make it as one single group, and now you could use your move option to pick it from the point and place it precisely at the position. Now can you see here? This is done, but right now can you see this? It's overlapping your sliding track here. No worries, you could push it forward because anyways the right hand door is the overlay door, right? So this should be aligned with the reference to your track point. So for that I could again use the move tool to push it in this axis for about 20 mm. Your sliding door for your insert wardrobe is done. And once you create any component from the scratch here, please make sure to add it to your private model so that even in other projects, if you have a requirement for the same shutter, you don't have to do it from the scratch. Just drag and drop it from your private model, you're good to go. So for that, then just select this model, In the floating window, click on import to me. That's it. Can you see the sliding door design is added here? So this way, if you want, you could create your own personal library of sliding doors, sliding shutters, components, and add it to your private models, so that when the demand or the need arises, you just need to pick and drop in your project and it is done. And since your sliding and your swing doors are one of the common custom requirements, these are all the different door designs which I have created from scratch within custom model. Can you see here, this one is for a swing door. So this design was created completely within custom model for a puja cabinet. This one is for a kitchen. And this one is for a swing wardrobe. This one is for the puja door. Another design for the swing wardrobe here. And this unique design is for a cabinet shutter. And this one is for the swing door. This one is here for the swing door as well. And this one is for the sliding door. And these are all the different kitchen cabinet shutters which are created in custom models. So these are just samples to just show how feasible your custom model could be in terms of creating a custom component from the scratch. So with this, your section 5 of the D4 professional course is complete.